She is one of the main staff members that does an amazing job in that office.
Very good. I think
Yes.
she's even doing some of the PSAs, if I'm
She
not
is.
mistaken, for the
She
state.
is.
And finally, if you're in Washtenaw County and need help staying in your home, or you have any kind of problems with foreclosure or potential missed payments, the Michigan State University Extension in Washtenaw County, specifically Ann Arbor, at 734-997-1678. That's 997-1678, and they can help out as well. We've only got a couple minutes left on this piece of the program. What I'd like to ask you about is the package of bills that we have right now. Andy Coloris, the chairman of the House Committee on Banking, and I have been working together for the past few months to help people that are already in a foreclosure mode. It says this legislation would say, in the first we're going to put a moratorium on foreclosure proceedings, first of all, for a 90-day period of time.
Correct.
We're going to force the lender and the borrower to sit down together with credit counselors in the room and say, how do we take a look at this person's overall debt package, debt load, and specifically the mortgage piece of it, and are there ways that we can help these people stay in their homes? And by putting them in the room together and creating that 90-day moratorium, that will allow people to work together, and really nobody wins in a foreclosure. Is that right?
That's definitely right. This bill will provide a disinterested third party, a credit counselor, to step in with a lender, with a homeowner, to sit down to try to figure out what the best plan of action is. Does that borrower have the ability and the willingness to continue on making a mortgage payment, and perhaps helping them create a modified loan program that will work for that household? The lender doesn't want to become a landlord or a real estate owner, and that homeowner really wants to stay in that house. So how do we do that? How do we accomplish that?
Yeah, the lending institutions that I've spoken to are in no interest of being real estate agents.
Correct.
And probably aren't the most proficient at that.
Right.
We are going to be talking in a few minutes with a real estate agent from Monroe County, representing the Michigan Association of Realtors as well. Mary Townley, if you would stick around with us while we talk to Kim Sachs in a few minutes, I would appreciate that. And I really appreciate the fact that you came on. It's nice to know that there are government agencies with people who really care, and I consider you one of those. So
thank you.
Thank you for sharing your expertise with us today.
Our nation is in the midst of an economic crisis.
One that's affecting many Michigan homeowners.
Fortunately, there are MSHDA homeownership counselors like us who can help free of charge.
We can help you talk with your lender.
We can help you work through financial problems.
We may be able to help you keep your home.
But we can only help if you make the call.
Please, before you miss a payment,
Make the call.
Welcome back. I'm State Senator Randy Richardville, and today we're talking to Mary Townley with the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. Welcome back again, Mary.
Thank you.
And also we have Kim Sachs from the Monroe County and the Michigan Association of Realtors. Kim, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. Well, it's nice of you to take the time to come up to the Capitol today to talk about some of the issues that are facing realtors and those that are, buying and selling homes. You have a special partnership with MSHDA. Could you maybe help explain a little bit about this project, which will help folks to prevent foreclosure?
Well, we're trying to work with them in getting homeowners that are falling into troubled times some information as to where they can go and for help before it gets to a point that it's almost too late.
Okay. When you in the real estate market today, you've got a number of people that are buying homes for the first time, people that are selling homes that they've been in for a while, and some of those sales are moving relatively slowly. And then you've got those that just can't seem to make the payments and are facing foreclosure. How is the real estate market from your perspective? What are you dealing mostly with on a day-to-day basis as an associate realtor out in the field?
Well, we're seeing people definitely having problems of those types, and it's sad because those were the American dreams, and you're seeing these people having their dreams shattered, and whatever we can do to help them and in sending them in the right direction is what we need to do, and that's where Mary comes in, and that helps quite a bit. And part of what we're doing as realtors is trying to provide programs that they can attend, and we had one at the community college here recently, which was well attended and went very successful, providing information to what they need to know as far as keeping themselves out of that situation, and if they do, that it's important to get started with some help early on.
Yeah, I think one of the tendencies, at least what I've been told, is that people, you know, it's their first time maybe that they've gone through a situation where they can't make their payments. There are people that have good credit history most of their lives. They're in a situation where the economy has caused them to have difficulty in making the payments that they've agreed to. And I think the legislation that we're working on right now helps to put people in a room together to see if there's a way to work through it. Now, the informative program that I visited out at the community college that I know the Monroe County Realtors were instrumental in pulling together included groups like the Salvation Army, Monroe Bank and Trust was there, and certain community banks have more flexibility and more ability to work directly with some of the people that have borrowed from them in trying to work out a situation. Do you find that to be true with local banks like Monroe Bank and Trust?
Most definitely. When they have that personal relationship, and they tend to get with their lender a little quicker and let them know that they're having trouble. Part of the problem people have is their pride. They're afraid to let people know that they're having trouble, and so they wait until they're in deep trouble before they speak up and say anything, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, so if there is something we could encourage people out there that maybe are facing difficulty is call your lender, call the credit counselors, the Monroe County Opportunity Program, or the other agencies that we mentioned earlier, and see what you can do to start solving the problem right away so that it doesn't get too far to get fixed. Is that right?
Right. Once that foreclosure clock starts ticking, you only have so much time. And once that time is come and gone, you may not have a second chance. So the earlier you get started in the process, when you get notice that you're in foreclosure, the earlier you address that, the more time you have, it's going to be a lot less stressful.
Well, and there are a lot of complexities that maybe the average borrower doesn't know about. You know, you've signed a stack of papers like this when you buy your home, and it may have been years ago since you've seen those papers. We have the community banks that we talked about. We have state chartered banks. We have nationally chartered or federally chartered banks. We have those that have sold mortgages to other investment kind of companies. So in order to get to the root of the problem, it is real important to get in front of your institution as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
We have the Save the Dream campaign right now, and our tagline is, before you miss a payment, make the call. So it's important that households get out in front of it. Their options are greater if they get out in front of it than waiting until later down the road. Then the options are very limited.
Yeah, I guess the adage, bad news doesn't get better with age, applies here. The sooner you get in and start to try and solve the problem, the better all parties can be. There is a federal program that'll help residents stay in their homes. Michigan recently received, I think it's $3 million in federal funding going directly to MSHDA. Can you explain a little bit how that money will be used to help homeowners in Monroe, Washtenaw, and Jackson counties?
$2.4 million of that will go to credit counseling agencies to provide funding for actual meeting with homeowners that are in trouble.
Is it fair to say that some of these counselors are overloaded right now and that this funding will help with that?
Yeah, actually it will provide funding for hiring new credit counselors for the hours that they use to provide for the homeowners for credit counseling, and then $600,000 of that will be for legal assistance.
So Mary, in addition to the legal information and the expertise that's provided, we've been encouraging people that are in a situation where it's difficult to make payments and possibly facing foreclosure to call their lenders, to call a credit counselor, to call MSHDA, or to call MCOP. When they make these phone calls, what information should they have available to share with the people that they're calling?
Well, they should have on their statement or on their coupon, there's an 800 number or a website to access. Call, be honest with their lender. Talk about what's happening in their life, what's causing the delinquency. Be upfront, be open. That's the biggest thing that we can tell homeowners.